Hi, guys. Welcome to this information session for Narcotics Anonymous. We are recording this for people who are in detox or rehab during the COVID lockdown, and we would normally send a couple of members to come in and talk to you about the program of Narcotics Anonymous, but because we can't be there in person, I'm making this recording for you today just to introduce the program to you, see what you think. Maybe you'd be interested in having another look at it. So I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I'm not a drug and alcohol worker. I'm not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, not a doctor. I'm just someone who is an addict and who has found recovery and a new way to live through Narcotics Anonymous. And I'm going to share that method for staying clean and finding a new way of life with you to see whether it might be something of interest to you. So I'm here on the Narcotics Anonymous website for Australia, na.org.au. I'm going to go through a few parts of the website for you so that you can, in your own time, on your iPad or phone or computer or whatever electronic device you have access to, that'll work. It doesn't matter which kind of device you have, and you can do that on your own time while you're in the clinic, maybe between groups or whatever time they give you to be on your own. So first thing I'm going to do is do a couple of readings. These are pieces of Narcotics Anonymous literature that we read out in some of our meetings, and that will hopefully explain the program to you a little bit. So we'll start with this one. Who is an addict? Most of us do not have to think twice about this question. We know our whole life and thinking was centered in drugs in one form or another, the getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. We lived to use and used to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are people in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails, institutions, and death. Okay, so I guess that's the bad news. But the good news in that reading is that it explains that addiction is an illness, or as we sometimes call it, a disease. And that realization allows us to find a solution for our problem, because if we think of addiction as a lack of willpower, we will always be trapped. I was in detox thinking that I lacked willpower and that I needed to just try harder, and everyone in my family assumed that I was lazy and just couldn't get over myself, and I needed to pull myself up by my bootstraps. And my experience and the experience of people in the program is such that if you really are an addict, you will not be able to beat your addiction through willpower. That it simply will not work. It's like trying to beat diabetes through willpower or trying to beat cancer through willpower. It's not a matter of willpower, and while we pursue our recovery in those terms, we will always fail. In Narcotics Anonymous, we have conceived of addiction as a disease, and we treat it as a disease, and we find that treatment works. So let's do another little reading about what is the Narcotics Anonymous program. NA is a non-profit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership: the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing is that they work. So I'm just going to stop there and just to point out once again that the only requirement is a desire to stop using. You don't have to be clean to join Narcotics Anonymous. You can be on methadone, Suboxone. You can still be using every day. That's completely fine. In fact, everyone in Narcotics Anonymous is an addict, so we completely understand how hard it is to stop using, but we're here to support you and we want to help you. And when you start coming to our meetings, you'll see people who've been in the place that you are now and who have found, that they can stay clean with the support of other addicts in Narcotics Anonymous. And what's beautiful about that is that instead of relying on doctors and health professionals or antidepressants or whatever other drugs you may need, and Narcotics Anonymous does not interfere with any psychiatric treatment. If you need to be on antidepressants, that's fine. But what I'm saying is we have found that those methods were not sufficient to help us stop using drugs of addiction. So if you want to, sorry about that, if you want to address your addiction, then we have found that the support that we get from each other in the program is invaluable. And rather than, a once a week or twice a week session with a health professional, you can have 24-hour-a-day support from members in Narcotics Anonymous. And we find that that is how we are able to stay clean in the beginning when it's really hard. Let's move on to the next one. So we do recover. I'll read that for you. When at the end of the road, we find that we can no longer function as a human being, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? There seems to be this alternative: either go on as best we can to the bitter ends, jails, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in history, a simple way has been proving itself in the lives of many addicts. It is available to us all. This is a simple, spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous. So what I'd like to point out here is the very, very important fact that this is not a religion, it's not a cult, it's not a dogma that you have to believe in. There is nothing in Narcotics Anonymous that you will ever be asked to believe or not believe or decide or prove to anyone. It is a set of principles that you can choose to adopt in your life. It's a 12-step program. You'll find out more about that in the meetings. I don't want to overcomplicate things here. It's not important in the beginning. In the beginning, what's really important is to join meetings, sit down, have a listen, and see whether you relate. If you find that you relate to what the people in the meetings are telling you about their lives, then you may wish to consider whether the solution that they have found is a solution that might work for you. So let's move on to how you can go to some NA meetings. So we'll go back to our website here and we'll go on the tab meetings and we will go here to all meetings. All meetings means including meetings that are always online, even when COVID isn't a thing, and also meetings that usually meet face-to-face in various suburbs all around Australia, but which have now moved their meetings online. So in order to do meetings online, you will need an app. Now, there are several platforms which host virtual meetings. So, for example, you can see by looking at the links here, this one here, I'll zoom in a bit, is hosted on a platform called Zoom, which is a teleconferencing platform. This one here is hosted on a platform called Discord. I think that's audio only. Here's another Zoom meeting, I'm looking for an example of another platform that is used sometimes called BlueJeans. Let's scroll down until we find one. Okay, here's one that meets on BlueJeans. So these are apps, right? So you have to go to your app store or whatever it's called on your computer or phone and download either BlueJeans or Zoom. Here's another one called GoToMeeting. The link will show you what platform it's being hosted on. So the trick is to have that downloaded before you click on the link. And then you go here to the time. When you click on that all meetings link up here, it will detect, what day it is. So today is Monday, sure enough, 4 p.m. So you go down Monday to, around 4 p.m. Let's see what's coming up. Then here we go, 4 p.m. This is on in 7 minutes. It meets on Zoom. It's a Victorian meeting, but doesn't matter because it doesn't matter whether it's in Queensland or Victoria or wherever, because we're all online now. And perfect online meeting for the newcomer, how it works. So that would be perfect for a newcomer. So once you've downloaded Zoom in this case, you click on here and you will go straight into the meeting. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to use Zoom, how to use BlueJeans. I recommend you go on YouTube and have a quick look. Type in, how to use Zoom or Zoom beginner's tutorial or BlueJeans beginner's tutorial, and you'll be able to watch a video in a few minutes that just shows you how the functions work. However, in the beginning, the main thing is, Zoom meetings do include a video component. You are absolutely within your rights to turn off your camera. So just learn how that works. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. Some people really get a lot out of feeling like they're more in the meeting if they show themselves. So you can do that. You can also choose to edit your name. You know, you don't have to sign up for anything, but you are asked to enter a name. If you feel shy or insecure, or you don't want anyone to know who you are, that's 100% okay. Just put in a random name and off you go. So I would encourage you to, start doing meetings every day. I do a couple a day. I really enjoy it. I've gotten a lot out of it. My life has certainly improved as a result of joining Narcotics Anonymous. You know, I've managed to stay clean for many years in Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm pretty sure I would be dead without it today. So if addiction is something that you struggle with and you want to find a new way to live, just come and have a look. It doesn't cost anything. No one will ever ask you for money. No one will ever ask you to sign anything or identify yourself. So it's really, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I hope you give it a go. I hope you have a successful stay at your facility, and when you come out, that you keep doing meetings and connecting with other addicts to help you stay clean. I wish you a wonderful day, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.